Federiga Bindi is a senior fellow at the Center for Transatlantic Relations at Johns Hopkins University. I asked her for her thoughts on this vote.
Well, I was always aware in the sense that this is tricky. But at least in the beginning, people thought that this was yet another referendum trial, because that once was already organized several years ago, which would help Catalonia negotiate more powers for the state. But then this chaos, the fact that the police actually beat people, and we saw images of elders being beaten with blood and everything, makes this thing completely more complicated. I mean, it brings to a completely new level.
And when you say more complicated, I mean, they in the headline here, it says a test of democracy. One might sense that the test didn't go all that well. I mean, where do we go from here? I mean, what happens next?
There are several options. Option number one, as the leader of PSOE and the head of the government try to negotiate, we try to find a solution which will entail more powers to Catalonia. But I think we're a little bit past that. Option number two, Catalonia declares independence, then the government uses the constitution, takes away the powers from Catalonia, and from there, God help us. Option number three, the God help us a solution, civil war or something like that. Option number four, forcing the constitution or modifying the constitution, you have a real referendum in Catalonia.
Not good options. None
except
of them,
for the first one, no.
Yeah. Exactly. And what's your sense that the first one might actually happen? And then the other thing is, the other piece of this is, depending upon what happens with all the different options, you still have the violence of yesterday and the scars that will be long-standing as a result of that. How do you mend all of that?
That is certain, and on the other side, you also have the government claiming that there are 400 officers that have been harmed. So that is hard. How to mend this will require a lot of work. I think one of the ways to go forward would be for the government to resign, because clearly Mariano Rajoy was not able to deal with it in a proper way. So probably if he did a step back, maybe we have a chance to mend and go ahead in a peaceful way together. And mind you, the Catalans are divided, because even if the people who went to vote overwhelmingly vote for the independence, you still have 52% of the people who did not go to vote. So you can't say that everybody in Catalonia wants secession.
What will you be looking for in the days, weeks ahead, and what will be the telltale signs in what direction we go from here?
As I said, one tell is Mariano Rajoy resigning. Second, where is the king? The king has not spoken yet. He has to say something. In dramatic moments like this, the king has had a unifying role in the Spanish history. I mean, in modern Spanish history. So what the king will say will be important, just like the English queen spoke as regards to Scotland. The Commission has already made clear that if this is an internal matter, but most of all that if Catalonia exit Spain, they will have to go through they will exit also from the EU, and they will have to go through membership again, and clearly Spain is never going to allow that. So they're going to be completely on their own. So probably on Wednesday, the European Parliament is going to debate the question at 3 p.m. So we'll see where this leads.